Okay. So I had intended on being on here a lot sooner, but chatty boyfriend and slight technical difficulties. I had to figure out which microphone I'm trying to pick. So we are going to get started here in just a moment. All right. So all you are going to need is just your yoga mat, some water, because I always suggest having some water, and yourself. This is not going to be anything big, complicated, crazy. We're going to take it easy. We're going to have some fun. This is really just about moving our bodies gently, right? This is just about finding some time and some space to just do something nice for ourselves today. So that's all we're going to do here. We're just going to keep it nice and low key. So I want you to find a nice seated spot here on the floor or on your mat or wherever you have decided to kind of cop a squat here today. So again, just let yourself sit down, let yourself relax. This is not, I don't want you to think that this has to be some big deal thing. It's not. This is real low key, keeping your clothing low key. We're just going to move for a few moments here. We're just going to kind of just move our bodies, keep it nice and relaxed here. So when we're seated, I want you to feel your seat kind of grounded into the mat. Let your arms rest on top of your legs. I want you to feel your shoulders relax away from your ears. Eyes can close if that feels good. And just breathe. Maybe this is the first time today you've actually slowed down enough to take a couple of deep breaths. Maybe this is the first time today you slowed down enough to notice that you breathe. So maybe it's a slow breath in and out today. Maybe that's what feels good. Maybe it's a deep breath. So if you're thinking deep breath, really think about opening and expanding those lungs and then squeezing those lungs closed as you breathe out. And just settle into this space here. Be in this moment for just a moment. We're letting ourselves get settled here. I want you to take your time. And then as you're ready, we're just going to start to roll those shoulders up towards our ears. Oh, if we need to kind of sigh it out, sigh it out. And then I want you to reverse. Roll those shoulders forward. This is going to be a seated flow tonight. So we're going to kind of find this one spot, and this is where we're going to stay for the entire time. So drop the shoulders. We're going to drop that ear towards our shoulder. It doesn't matter which one because we're going to both sides. So if you want to start with your right ear, start with that right ear. I'm not going to worry too much about left and right today. Again, this is about turning our brains off, tapping into our body, and just moving. And let's drop that ear towards the opposite shoulder. Good. Bringing that head back to the center. We're going to bring the chin to our chest. We're going to circle it out. So bringing those circles up and around. I always like to kind of start to the right. That makes sense to me because I'm right-handed. That's just my flow here. But you start whichever direction feels natural to you. And then when our chin comes to the chest again, we're going to take that circle in the opposite direction. Good. And again, just keep it nice and relaxed here. We're not trying to win any yoga medals here. We're not going to get any rewards for doing it fastest, best, whatever it is. Just take our time here. And let's bring that head back to the center. Arms are going to come down to our side. Inhale. Let's sweep those arms up and find a little bit of a dancey stretch here. Just kind of like the hints of those inflatable arm men, right? Just find that big stretch. I want you to feel it all the way down the outside of your arm, outside of your side, on both sides. So if you want to make it a little bit bigger, a little bit flowier, showier, do that. Just kind of find that nice and easy side to side. Reach and stretch. Good. All right, we're going to bring both arms up and overhead. Find that little twist. Again, I'm going to whatever side feels good to you. I typically teach in mirrors, so sometimes I say right, it's really my left. So again, go to the side that makes the most sense to you. What feels good? Where do you want to find that big stretch? Sweeping those arms up and over. Be a little dramatic today. Let yourself, that's okay if you need to be dramatic. I like that. And let's go one more time to each side. Inhale those arms up. Exhale, float them over to that twist. Sit up a little bit taller. Twist like you're wringing out your midsection here. Like that midsection is a nice big sponge. You're just wringing it out. All of that stress, that anxiety, that whatever. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe it's frustration. Let's take it to that other side here. The holidays can bring up a lot of different emotions for us. So it doesn't always have to be love and light and peace and joy and all of the happiness in the world. Good. Let's walk it back to the center. We're going to take it into some circles. So your seat is going to stay in on the floor, on the mat. Circle it out or oval it out, rectangle it out. Just move it around. Find some movement. Snake it out maybe a little bit. Good. And then let's switch. Let's find a couple of circles going in that other direction. Loving that. Moving it around. Wonderful. Well, coming back to the center here. Inhale, let's reach those arms up. Exhale, let's drop that arm back behind us. And then either reaching for the elbow or bring that arm across the front because we're hugging that arm towards our head. So we want to feel it down the back of our arm into our tricep, maybe a little into our shoulder. Sit up a little bit taller if we can. If at any point you need to just sigh it out, sigh it out. Good. Take those arms up and over. That's what this class is for. You're in the privacy of your home. Either reach for that elbow or bring it across the front here. If that's what you need to do to get rid of the day, get yourself ready to have a wonderful evening. Maybe you're doing the replay and you're catching this in the morning. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful afternoon, whatever it is. Bringing both arms up and over. Here we go. Send those elbows nice and wide. Slowly, cactus arms, field goal arms. I want you to squeeze those elbows back behind you like you're drawing those shoulder blades towards your spine. We're going to open up through the chest, through the shoulders. This one might feel a little something because it's a great stretch for all of us who are on our phones, on computers, who do all this driving. Good. Arms come all the way down. Let's draw that right arm across. I want you to drop your shoulders. Physically let your shoulders come away from your ears. Thumb can come towards the ceiling. Thumb can come towards the floor. What feels good? Little swing with the arms. Let's go to the other side. My classes are always about finding what feels good in your body in this moment. Because your yoga practice yesterday, your yoga practice tomorrow is not going to be the same as it is today. So what does your body need today? Good. Relaxing that down. Take a moment. Shake out the arms. Shrug the shoulders. Get a little movement into that body. Shake everything out. All right. We're going to take the legs nice and wide here. Flex through the feet so toes come up toward the ceiling. And again, we're going to find some circles here. So find a little bit of movement. It doesn't have to be big and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just find what feels good to you. And then we'll switch it around. There's this idea that there's one right way to do some of these yoga poses, or there's some one right way to do all this stretching, and there isn't. So just kind of finding give yourself permission to find what you need tonight. Good. We're coming back to the center. Reposition those legs if we need to. Readjust the seat so it's nice and grounded. We're going to walk those hands forward. Now, if it feels better and you feel more stable to grab onto the legs, do that. If you've noticed that your shoulders have started to sneak up again, dropping them down and away. We want that nice long spine, like we're drawing a line through the top of our head. I want you to feel everything up through that inner thigh, down the back of your leg, chest coming towards the floor here. And again, even if you're still feeling really upright, I promise you're getting something here. And the more you come to these classes, the more you're going to start to notice, oh, I can walk a little bit further. Oh, I feel a little deeper stretch. Oh, it's not so hard. And that's kind of what we're hoping for. Again, breathe it out if you need to. Take your time here. And now we're going to come into our butterfly. So we'll draw the bottoms of the feet towards each other. And again, your hips may be the limiting factor here. So maybe you can pull your heels back towards you and that feels good. Maybe it feels better to scoot towards your feet. Maybe you have more of a diamond shape in those legs. Again, this practice is for you right now. So if you're trying to do yoga based on what you did before or based on what you think you're supposed to do tomorrow or how you think it's supposed to be, you're doing yourself a disservice. We want to practice for the body we have now, for the needs we have now, for the practice we want now, because that's how we're going to get the most benefit from it. That's how we start to grow in our yoga practice, is by meeting ourselves where we are in this exact moment. My classes are always all about that. So make sure you're coming back Tuesdays and Thursdays through the end of the year, 6 p.m. Central Time. We're going to be doing some yoga just to help us all make it through this holiday season with as little stress as possible. If you want to dive deeper into how yoga can help not only with your stress, anxiety, but also help build confidence and boost your self love, then I'll put a link down below and you can check out Radiant Self, which is my coaching program, which dives even deeper into why yoga is such a wonderful benefit. Good. All right. We're going to take that right leg out, kind of tuck that left foot in. And I want to start to the center here. So just again, like we did with that wide leg forward fold, just walk the hands to the middle. Foot is slightly flexed. Doesn't have to be yanked all the way back, but I don't want it relaxed to the side. I want a little bit of tension in that leg. Toes in the direction of the ceiling here. And we're focusing now on the back of the leg. So you should feel it in the calf, maybe a little in the back of the knee, certainly in that hamstring in the back of the thigh. And if you want to, we're going to walk those hands over towards the right leg, reaching towards the toe. Again, no prize if we can touch the toe. That's not our goal. The goal is that nice big stretch down the back of the leg. Because if you're anything like me, that tends to tighten up pretty quickly. And I can feel it that I haven't been as consistent in my yoga as I like, because my calves are really tight and my hamstrings are really tight. But that's okay. We're always just jumping right back in, trying again. That's what we want. Awesome. We're going to that other side. So left leg pops out. We're tucking that right in. And again, we're starting towards the center, walking those legs out just a little bit towards the floor. And you don't need anything fancy for most yoga classes, at least for the ones on this channel. A place to move where you're not going to slip and slide. Yoga blocks if you want. Maybe it's just a pillow, a blanket, keeping it short or keeping it simple here. Lose my words. Again, if we want to, we're going to walk those hands over towards that left leg now. Again, reaching towards the toes, meaning our hands are going in the direction of our feet. Whether they touch, not necessarily important. How's that stretch feeling down the back of the leg? Does this side feel different? Do you need to make any adjustments on this side? Good. And breathe. We're going to sit up, bringing both legs forward here. We're going to bend the knees, walk those feet back, and take it into some windshield wiper. So if you want to start kind of slowly, I just like to give myself a feel for it. And then as we get going, I like to bring it a little bit wider. Now, this tends to make me scoot. So at some point, you may notice you have scooted your booty right off of that yoga mat. So you may need to stop, reposition yourself. If you ever want to stop and find a little bit more of a hold, that's going to get into that hip flexor into the top of the leg. And that might feel kind of good, especially if you've been sitting a lot as of recently. I tend to sit a lot. So I need to stretch that a little bit more. All right, we're going to come into some pigeon. So I'm going to show you some options here. First option, you're going to bend that left knee. We're going to cross that right leg over so that the ankle is kind of on that meaty part of our thigh. The more you draw that left foot back, the more it brings that right leg towards your chest. That's going to kind of deepen that stretch into the hip. Now, you can bring your back up against the wall if that feels a little bit more supportive. If you want to, you can roll yourself onto the ground, and that might feel better. Now, if you want something a little bit more for that hip stretch, you're going to bring that left leg down, stack that right leg on cross. So across. So ankle over knee, knee over ankle. Now, if you do have a yoga block or a pillow and you're attempting our like double pigeon, I like to bring a block in at least for the first couple of breaths to give that leg somewhere to support. It lets that muscle know that it's okay to start to relax. Give it a couple of deep breaths, like you're breathing air into that space. So I think you'll find if you just give it a breath or two and then you move that leg's going to relax a little bit. And it might not. Your hips may be super tight, and this may just not be where you are. You can always draw that leg out a little bit and kind of cross them in front if you're working towards that. So play around. What feels good to you? What would give you that most when you walk away from class, you're like, yeah, my hip feels better. Yeah, this feels better. I'm glad I attempted that. That's what we want to walk away from our classes feeling. I'm glad I tried that today. Again, just relax and breathe here. And because we're doing this on both sides, you can try something different on the other side. You don't necessarily have to do the same thing to both sides. You can if you want, if that feels good, if that makes you feel like you're balanced. I understand that. So that might be a good thing. Awesome. We're going to uncross those legs. Take a moment. Legs out in front. We're just going to point and flex the toes. Going to stretch out those calves. And then I want you to circle the feet. And then switch. Here we go. We're going to bend the right leg, left ankle across the top. So again, as we draw that right leg back, maybe it helps to hug that left leg and kind of bring it towards our chest. Same thing. If you want to lie down and hug that knee to the chest, if that feels better to you. Otherwise, right leg stacks to the bottom, left leg comes across the top. Same thing. Maybe start with that block underneath that top leg. And sometimes that is just enough to kind of help you get set up, right? To help everything get orderly and get yourself in alignment so that we're not hurting anything. Challenge is fine. If it feels a little outside of your comfort zone, I love that, but we don't want it to hurt. That's the sticking point here. So you're going to feel it in both hips in all of the stretches, but primarily now we're on that left side. Seat fully grounded wherever we are. Shoulders are relaxed, jaw unclenched, forehead softened. Sigh it out. You're doing a wonderful job. Thank you for doing something good for you today. This was awesome of you. I appreciate you for showing up. Whether you are showing up live or whether you're catching the replay. And breathe. And this side might feel a little bit different. Maybe this side is easier than the other side. Maybe this side is the problem child tonight. Whatever it might be, just kind of, again, let yourself be in this space. Enjoy it. It should be fun and enjoyable. And if it's not, then take a moment. Try and understand why. Good. We're going to uncross the legs here. Again, out to the front. Press and release through those toes. Circling the feet. And then we'll take a couple circles in that other direction. Good. All right. We're going to come back to seated here. Now we're going to close, as we do with all classes, with a little bit of Shavasana or some rest and relaxation. So if being seated feels best to you, I want you to do that. I like seated tonight, but I like a block underneath my seat because it brings my hips a little bit higher. And that kind of lets me relax into my legs a little bit. If you want to lie down, I want to suggest you go ahead, lay down on your back, on your side, on your belly, grab a blanket, grab a pillow. I want you to get whatever is going to allow you to feel comfortable and to relax. Get the wiggles out If there are any final stretches that you want to add into your practice tonight, give yourself a moment for those. So we settle in here, eyes closed if you want. And I just want you to focus on your breathing. So you can just breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. One more focused breath in and out. And see if there are spaces where you can relax into your body a little bit more. Are there spots where you're holding on to a little bit of tension? Are you maybe sucking in that belly? Can we relax that? Can we relax the chest? Relax your forehead, unclench your jaw. Taking a moment here. Just to find that little bit of quiet in your day. Find that little bit of peace. Congratulate yourself for showing up for you today. Making sure we thank our body for moving us around in whatever way that was. Remembering there is no right or wrong way to move our body. There is just our way. And our way is meant to make us feel good, feel empowered, maybe feel relaxed and at peace. Let's send a virtual thank you to all of the virtual classmates tonight, whether you were joining us live or you caught the replay. We knew you were here. Thank you for sharing your practice today. Good. I want you to take a moment, maybe come back into your body. So whether that's wiggling those fingers, toes, maybe it's finding that nice big stretch, whatever it is, I want you to slowly make your way back to a nice seated position. Again, take all the time you need. Allow yourself to be present again in this moment. And just a gentle reminder that this month of December, we get caught up in what we think we should do and how it's supposed to be perfect and we're supposed to create all of this stuff, but it's about our presence, not presence. So it's about being there and focused on the friends and the family who are gathering together, about being there for the movies and the songs and the plays, and saying yes to the stuff that excites us and saying no more often to the stuff that feels like a drain on our time and our energy. And so, as always, I am so grateful and honored to have guided you through this gentle yoga class tonight. I hope you'll join me for our next class, which is on Thursday. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see everybody next time. So, again, yes, thank you so much for joining me. Loved having you in class, and I hope to see you again soon.